Just as a candle cannot burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life. Buddha. Allow me to take you on a journey back in time, to the origins of Buddhism. It all began around the 5th century BCE, in the foothills of the Himalayas, in what is now modern-day Nepal. There a prince was born, Siddhartha Gautama, a man whose life would forever change the course of human spirituality. Siddhartha Gautama was not your typical prince. Despite being born into a life of luxury, he was deeply troubled by the suffering he saw in the world. This led him to renounce his royal heritage and embark on a quest for enlightenment, a journey that took him to the depths of meditation and asceticism. After years of rigorous spiritual practice under a Bodhi tree, Siddhartha attained what he had been seeking, enlightenment. It was at this moment of profound insight that he became the Buddha, the awakened one. Buddha's teachings, known as Dharma, are centered around the understanding of suffering, its causes, and how one can end it. These teachings are encapsulated in the Four Noble Truths: the existence of suffering, the cause of suffering, the end of suffering, and the path leading to the end of suffering. The path that Buddha laid out, known as the Eightfold Path, is a practical guideline for ethical and mental development, with the goal of freeing individuals from attachments and delusions. Ultimately, it leads to understanding, love, and wisdom. This path encourages us to live a life of moderation, avoiding extremes, and embracing mindfulness in all that we do. Buddha's teachings have resonated with millions around the globe, transcending borders and cultures, offering a path not just to spiritual enlightenment, but to a more peaceful, compassionate, and mindful way of living. From a prince to an enlightened being, Siddhartha Gautama's journey laid the foundation for one of the world's most profound philosophies: Buddhism. Buddhism, more than a religion, is a way of life, a path to awakening. At its core, Buddhism is anchored in the 5 precepts, which serve as the moral compass guiding every Buddhist's journey. The first of these precepts is the principle of ahimsa, or nonviolence. Buddhists strive to abstain from taking any life, be it human or animal. This principle instills a sense of compassion and respect for all forms of existence, fostering a harmonious relationship between ourselves and the world around us. The second precept is to abstain from stealing. It's not just about not taking what isn't ours, but about cultivating a sense of integrity and contentment. It encourages us to appreciate what we have, rather than coveting what others possess. The third precept, abstaining from sexual misconduct, urges us to respect the boundaries and consent of others. It's about fostering relationships based on trust, respect, and mutual understanding, rather than exploitation or deceit. The fourth pillar is to abstain from false speech. This means avoiding lies, slander, or any form of deceit. It's about cultivating honesty, truthfulness, and using our words to promote understanding and harmony, rather than discord and confusion. The fifth and final precept is to abstain from intoxication, specifically that which clouds the mind and impairs judgment. It's not necessarily a call for total abstinence, but a reminder that we should not let anything rob us of our ability to think clearly and make wise decisions. Together, these precepts form the backbone of Buddhist moral and ethical conduct. They are not commandments imposed by a divine entity, but guidelines drawn from the wisdom of the Buddha himself. Each one is a step towards purifying the mind and liberating oneself from the chains of desire, hatred, and ignorance. These precepts, these pillars, guide a Buddhist in their journey towards nirvana, the ultimate liberation. Like ripples in a pond, Buddhism's influence has spread far and wide. Emerging from the spiritual soil of India over 2,000 years ago, Buddhism began its journey, navigating through the cultural landscapes of Asia, before reaching the shores of the Western world. Let's start with Asia. Buddhism's impact on this continent is nothing short of profound. The teachings of the Buddha found fertile ground in nations like China, Japan, and Korea, reshaping their societies, philosophies, and artistic expressions. The Buddhist influence is evident in the serene beauty of Zen gardens, the philosophical depth of Taoism, and the intricate designs of mandalas. It's as if Buddhism became the heartbeat of Asian culture, pulsating through every aspect of life. Yet Buddhism didn't stop at the borders of Asia. It continued its journey westward, carried by the winds of curiosity and spiritual seeking. In the Western world, Buddhism was initially received as an exotic curiosity, a different perspective on life and existence. But with time, it began to infuse its essence into Western philosophy, art, and literature. Just consider the Beat generation of the mid-20th century. Iconic figures like Jack Kerouac and Allen Ginsberg drew heavily from Buddhism, their works echoing with the teachings of the Buddha. The influence of Buddhism even extended to the field of psychology. Ideas of mindfulness and meditation, once considered esoteric, are now accepted therapeutic approaches to mental well-being. Buddhism also found resonance in the realm of popular culture. From Hollywood movies to contemporary music, elements of Buddhism are woven into the tapestry of modern storytelling. The Buddha's teachings have become a wellspring of inspiration for artists and creators, their works reflecting the wisdom of this ancient tradition. And this is the beauty of Buddhism. It doesn't impose but gently infuses its principles into various facets of life, encouraging us to seek the truth within ourselves. It's a spiritual path that embraces change, adapts to cultures, yet retains its core essence. Buddhism, in its essence, transcends borders, infusing itself in various facets of global culture. From the tranquil monasteries of Asia to the bustling streets of the Western world, Buddhism's ripples continue to spread, touching lives, shaping thoughts, and inspiring hearts. Buddhism, a religion or a philosophy? This question has intrigued minds for centuries. The debate over Buddhism's classification has been a subject of discourse for scholars and practitioners alike. Is it a religion, with its ritual practices, monastic orders, and moral precepts? Or does it veer more towards philosophy, with its emphasis on introspection, self-realization, and the quest for truth? The lines between religion and philosophy blur when we delve into the depths of Buddhism. Unlike most religions, Buddhism does not hinge on the worship of a personal god or gods. Instead, it focuses on the teachings of Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, who himself was not a god but an enlightened being. His teachings, the Dharma, are not divine revelations but insights gained through his own experiences and meditations. Buddhism encourages practitioners to seek their own truth, to question and to explore. It's less about adherence to a divine mandate and more about self-realization. It promotes introspection, mindfulness, and the cultivation of wisdom and compassion. These aspects lend themselves more to philosophy than to religion, as traditionally understood. Yet Buddhism isn't devoid of religious elements either. It has monastic orders, rituals, and ceremonies. It offers moral precepts that guide the conduct of its followers, much like commandments in other religions. Moreover, concepts like karma, rebirth, and nirvana add a metaphysical dimension that typically aligns with religious thought. However, many interpret Buddhism not just as a religion or philosophy, but as a way of life. It provides a path, the Eightfold Path, that guides individuals towards enlightenment and inner peace. It's a path that transcends the boundaries of religious rituals and philosophical debates, focusing instead on personal growth and transformation. So is Buddhism a religion or a philosophy? The answer isn't black and white. It's a complex tapestry woven with threads of religious doctrine, philosophical insight, and practical guidance. It's a spiritual journey that each individual undertakes in their own unique way. Whether seen as a religion or a philosophy, Buddhism's essence lies in its pursuit of enlightenment and inner peace. From celebrities to monks, Buddhism has touched the lives of many. As we delve into the lives of notable Buddhists, we find a common thread of calm, compassion, and a commitment to inner peace. Let's start with the Dalai Lama, the spiritual leader of Tibetan Buddhism. His teachings, books, and speeches have reached millions worldwide, spreading the tenets of Buddhism far beyond the borders of Tibet. He has dedicated his life to promoting human values, religious harmony, and the Tibetan people's struggle for freedom. His wisdom and compassion have made him a beacon of hope and peace in a turbulent world. Next, we have Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese Zen master and peace activist who has been a powerful voice for mindfulness and peace. His simple yet profound teachings on mindfulness and compassion have transformed countless lives and inspired movements for peace and social change. Now let's talk about some well-known personalities who've embraced Buddhism. Richard Gere, for instance, is not just a Hollywood star but also a devoted Buddhist. He's used his celebrity status to advocate for human rights in Tibet and support the cause of the Dalai Lama. Then we have Steve Jobs, the mastermind behind Apple. Jobs was heavily influenced by Zen Buddhism, which played a significant role in shaping his revolutionary ideas and minimalist design aesthetics. Buddhism's influence doesn't stop with these luminaries. It continues to evolve and adapt, finding resonance in our modern world. The teachings of mindfulness and compassion are increasingly being integrated into areas like psychology, healthcare, and education. Meditation and mindfulness apps are bringing Buddhist practices to the digital realm, making it accessible to anyone with a smartphone. In a world that's often consumed by stress and conflict, Buddhism offers a path towards inner peace. It invites us to slow down, to be present, and to cultivate compassion for ourselves and others. Buddhism continues on its path, spreading its message of peace and enlightenment, inviting each of us to embark on our own journey towards inner peace.